As a real estate agent, it can feel nearly impossible to dream big when you're stuck in survival mode, just trying to make it through each day. But here's the thing, if you can break free of that survival mode, you'll start creating the future you really want, not just the one that you feel stuck with. And by the end of this episode, I'm going to give you these 4 steps, and I swear you're going to be dreaming with the lid off. Welcome to the Agent Rise podcast, where we celebrate that you are unique and one of a kind. Instead of asking you to do things that make you cringe, we help you create a clear, personalized plan that aligns with you. No more overthinking or wasting time, just a straightforward path to building a real estate business you love. Welcome, risers. It's that time once again for the Agent Rise podcast. I'm your host, Neil Mathweg, and today I want to help you dream with the lid off, regardless of the conditions. I know we've got a lot going on right now. We've got a lot of external conditions. We've got higher interest rates. We've got low inventory in most places. We've got the NAR settlement changes that have made things a little bit more difficult because we've had to figure out how to sell real estate again. And then we've also got consumer confidence that I think is at an all-time low right now. With the election coming up, consumers are just not very confident in their purchase. We got a lot of buyers that are throwing in the towel saying, I'm just going to wait till after the election. We've got reasons for people to not move, and there's a lot of challenges right now. But if you focus on the challenges, you're only going to get more challenges. And here at Agent Rise, we're always focusing on the opportunities because there are plenty of opportunities. And today, I want to help you dream with the lid off. What are the steps to dreaming with the lid off? I always hear, Neil, that sounds absolutely amazing. I want to dream with the lid off. That sounds great. But how do you do it? Wherever you're at, whatever you are on this scale here, let me help you out today because I have 4 steps to follow to help you dream with the lid off. The first step is make sure you take inventory of just how amazing you truly are and all of the things that you've already accomplished in your life. See, most of us, when we get to dreaming with the lid off, we feel like we're coming from nothing. We feel like we're at the bottom of the mountain and we have the whole mountain to climb. But what I want you to realize is that if you turn around and look, you probably have already started climbing the mountain. You've already started and you've already accomplished things. So I want to say the first step in all of this is you've got to take inventory of your accomplishments. Go back and think about all of the accomplishments you've accomplished so far in your life. Go back to your childhood and just think about all of the things that you've accomplished. The second question that you want to ask yourself is, what have I accomplished so far in the last year? So you've gone back your entire life. Now think about what have you accomplished in the last year, and then zoom in a little bit more and ask yourself, what have I accomplished in the last month? And the reason you do this is it gets you thinking about the things that you've accomplished and how you've accomplished them, and it gets that momentum going. It's a gap in the gain. If you've never read the book, The Gap in the Gain, be sure to go read this book. The Gap in the Gain teaches this exactly. So most of us are thinking in the gap all the time. We're beating ourselves up instead of building ourselves up. We don't feel like we are enough. We don't feel like we've accomplished enough, and we're always living in the gap. If you can reverse that and start to look at what you've actually accomplished, it's amazing. So not only do I want you to do this in this exercise of dreaming with the lid off, but I also want you to do this in your day-to-day. Measure what you've accomplished, not what you haven't accomplished. Focus on the things that are going great in your life and not the things that are not. Because when you put your thought on negative, you put your thought on lack, on doubt, whatever it might be, you're only going to get more of it. Now, I want you to take that energy and go on to step number 2, which is to write a vivid vision statement. Now, this vivid vision statement is your statement. It's the statement that you want to see in your life. If you were to create a vision board, this is a written version of that. And when it comes to writing the vivid vision statement, one of the things that you want to focus on is this idea that you've arrived at the place that you want to arrive. It's the vision that you have for yourself, for your family, for your business, and you are at that place and you're now describing it to me and to yourself. You're writing about what you want and why you want it. Do not get stuck in thinking about how. Once you start thinking about how you want something, that's what's going to bring up the doubt, right? Because you're not quite sure how you're going to accomplish something. Therefore, you're going to start to doubt yourself. So don't make that mistake. Think about what you want and why you want it, and write out your entire vivid vision statement with that in mind. There's other ways to do this as well. I actually heard of some ChatGPT prompts that you could say, hey, ChatGPT, write me a vivid vision statement that is, say 500 characters or 1,000 characters, whatever you want it to be. And I want my vivid vision statement to include things about your family, your career, your friendships and your relationships in your life. Maybe it's your faith, maybe it's your health. What other goals, what other vivid visions do you see for yourself? Write that all down and then have ChatGPT write you a great paragraph that can be your vivid vision statement. And later, we're going to learn how to read this vivid vision statement on a daily basis so that you actually begin to see it come to life. All right. So the first step is to take inventory, right? Measure all of your accomplishments. The second step is to write that vivid vision statement. And the third step in dreaming with the lid off is to come up with 3 goals that you can work according to over the next 12 weeks that are going to move you closer to that vivid vision statement. All right. You could take your vivid vision statement, load it into ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, help me come up with 12-week goals. They're going to help me get closer to that vivid vision statement. You see how you can start to break this down, right? So you've gone with the taking inventory and you know what you've accomplished. Then you take that energy into dreaming with the lid off and writing that vivid vision statement. And then now we've got to start working on how are we going to get to that vivid vision statement. See, that vivid vision statement is all about what you want and why you want it. And now we need to start working about how we're going to get there. And that's that third step in writing those 12-week goals. And then the fourth step in all of this is to start being who you want to become. And I put this to the test a few years ago. In the beginning of 2021, I weighed over 400 pounds. And I wanted to do something about it. And I've been wanting to do something about this my entire life. In fact, I've lost over 100 pounds 4 different times only to gain it back. And I realized that this is not what is according to my vivid vision. My vivid vision has me healthy, has me lean, has me strong. And when I started to step into this, I started being who I wanted to become. And what I wanted to become was a healthy person. So what I did is I wrote down what every healthy person does. They drink water. They always have water bottles with them. They've got Fitbits on them. They're always keeping track of how many steps they're taking. They eat healthy. They watch everything that goes into their mouth. I used to eat a lot of processed food. I've removed processed food from my life. I eat nothing but whole food as much as I possibly can. I've just really focused on loving myself instead of restricting myself. See, when I was on a diet, I was always restricting myself. Right? I couldn't have this. I couldn't do this. And that restriction made me beat up on myself instead of love myself and build myself up. So when I started to love myself, I wanted to take care of myself, right? And so I started being who I wanted to become, and who I wanted to become was a healthy person. And so through creating that list of what healthy people do, that's what I started doing. And I started being who I wanted to become. And I got this filter of what healthy people do. One of my breakthrough moments was on my way up to Real Estate Distilled. This would have been in February of 2021. I was on my way, 2022, somewhere in there. I was on my way to Real Estate Distilled in Louisville, Kentucky. And on the way there, I had fasted in the morning, and now it was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was getting hungry. So I thought about stopping. I had to stop and get gas. So I stopped at this gas station, and I thought, you know what? I'll go into the gas station and get what healthy people get, right? So I'm going through the aisles, and I'm looking for what healthy people get, looking at the few options that are there. And as I'm looking, I look up, at this gentleman that's walking down the aisle. And he's this big burly guy, and he's got this big 32-ounce big gulp, whatever it is, in his hand, and a bag of chips and some beef jerky. And he was just this big dude. And I looked at him and I thought, healthy people don't eat here. And that was my turning point. That's when I realized that healthy people don't eat here. And I turned around and I walked out of the building. I walked out of the gas station. And the reason I did that was because I knew that healthy people didn't eat there. And I was a healthy person. I needed to start being who I wanted to become. And I did that with my diet, and I've also done that with my business. So I want this to be an encouragement to you. I know this isn't a health weight loss show. This is to help real estate agents here, but use that example in whatever you want to become, whatever it is that you want to become. If it's your production, if it's the amount of relationships that you have, if it's your career, if it's your home, if it's your family, if it's your finances, whatever it is, start being who you want to become. And that is the fourth step. So just a quick review here in Dreaming with the Lid Off. The first step is to take inventory. You need to measure your gains. You need to see just how amazing you are and all of the accomplishments that you've accomplished. Now, not only do that in goal planning, but do this on the daily. You need to continually rewire your brain to measure the wins. Start with a win streak. I do this at the end of every day. I write down 3 things that were amazing from the day. And sometimes it's way more than 3, but I at least come up with 3 things that were amazing from today, 3 wins of the day, and you call it a win streak. So that's training your brain to measure the accomplishments. Step number 2 is to write that vivid vision statement. Dream with the lid off. Envision yourself where you want to be and what you want to be doing. So what you want and why you want it, what you want and why you want it, over and over. Think and feel it. Think and feel it. And that's going to go into your vivid vision statement. Then step number 3 is to write 3 goals that you can accomplish over the next 12 weeks. And the reason we do 12-week goals is because it gives you a deadline. If you give yourself a year to accomplish a goal, you'll take a year. If you give yourself 12 weeks, you'll get it done in 12 weeks. I cannot believe the number of goals that I've accomplished so far since practicing the 12-week year. And then the 4th is to start being who you want to become and start practicing reading that vivid vision statement daily if you can. The more you read it, the more it's going to become real to you. And that's the whole point of being what you want to become, is you need to think and feel what you want to make real, and eventually it will become that way. You did it when you learned how to talk. You did it when you learned how to walk, when you learned how to ride a bike. You just thought and feeled what it was going to feel like to do that. And eventually, with repetition, you got there. And that's exactly what you need to do with Dreaming with the Lid Off. Now, I've done this multiple times in my life. Before 2020, I envisioned going full-time RVing. It was a crazy idea. My wife, when I told her for the first time, I think it was like in 2015, 16, I dropped the idea and she's like, absolutely not. I'm not going full-time RVing. That sounds crazy. But I had the vision, I had the dream, and I really wanted to think and feel it. So I would watch YouTube videos on repeat with different RVing families, and I would spend so much time envisioning what it would feel like to go RVing. What you think and feel, you make real. And it wasn't but a few years later, away we went. My family, we sold our house, 90% of our belongings. My wife, our 3 kids, and our 2 dogs hopped in this big 42-foot RV and traveled all around the country, 37 states to be exact, for almost 2 years. And it was absolutely amazing. And what we did in this process, again, is I just thought about it and what I think and feel it. And I just thought about what I want and why I want it. Why would I want to go RVing? What would that feel like? Wow, the freedom that would give us, and the ability to go wherever we want to go and explore whatever we want to explore. Like, that just really, really excited me. And so I just sat there with it. What you think and feel, you make real. So again, you can do this with anything that you want in your life. Okay. So if it's to grow the business, because, hey, we're in a business setting here and we're working on growing your real estate business. If that is the case, then start thinking and feeling what it is and start being who you want to become. And the next thing you know, you're going to be there. So I hope this helps you. And if you want to take this to the next level, we are offering free webinars every Thursday, and I'll link it up below. Just go ahead and join us for the webinar, and we'll show you how you can dream with the lid off and take the additional steps to building the real estate business that you love. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. And like always, remember to be the reason somebody smiles today.